This much talked about book, Why Nations Fail, Daron Acemoglu and Jim Robinson. And their whole story, nations that succeed are nations who succeed in building inclusive institutions and not exclusive institutions which just are run by the elite for themselves and so on. So given the state of India's institutions now, what do you think Acemoglu and Robinson what would their verdict be on the state of our institutions? And are they getting better? Are they eroding? Which way are we progressing as far as institutions are concerned?
I think it's a story of good and bad. Many countries would be very happy to get some of our institutions, even if we are conscious of all their shortcomings. There are great strengths in our institutions. I think the Election Commission has certainly improved over the years in the quality of what it does, how it does it, the monitoring it does, the technology it uses. It certainly got much better. I think you can see decay in Parliament, which functions less and less, like the state assemblies barely function. Courts, I think at the higher level may be okay, but even there we have issues. Lower level is a disaster story. Your police is by and large a disaster story. The only method of investigation they do, I think, is third degree. I think the media is a good and bad story. You have a social media, which is a problem. I think newspapers are better than television stations. So, and I think newspapers have got better. TV stations have got worse. So media is good and bad. So you can go over the whole range. I think our universities are a very sad state. And our leading universities have actually gone down. But you also have new universities coming up. I think there's a transformation taking place in our IITs. They were all basically undergraduate teaching shops. Today, all of them have got more postgrad students and undergrad students. They're doing very good research. They're tying up with the leading universities in the world. They're turning out hundreds of PhDs. So this whole argument that we didn't have research in our IITs is now yesterday's story. So the IITs, frankly, have all transformed themselves. That's a good news story. So things happen on some, they don't happen on others. That's my take.
It's work in progress because, I mean, we are a young country in that sense. Our institutions, we're still struggling to set up many things which, I mean, the headlines are hogged by discussions about independence of the central bank, for example. People are interested. And I think the fact that people are interested, and almost everybody today is, even my gardener, is an expert on the risk capital that the Reserve Bank should hold. These are things that, you know, are, I think, progress from being not interested or not knowing what this is about to a country which has to improve its institutions, and it's a democratic country. So I think it's, you know, we should not be thinking, oh, what is bad, and so we get pessimistic about it. And the best, I would say, is the fact that we have this smooth, non-violent transition of power from when, you know, somebody loses elections, they very nicely hand over power to the next, and how rare that is in this world. I think that's something to really celebrate. So I would put, you know, that on top of the good that we have.
Let me add to the general good feeling, but with sort of concrete facts. Let's talk about something that Ila mentioned, regulators, statutory regulatory institutions. Relatively new as a concept in India. Just taking one area, securities market, 1992 to 2002, 10-year period, not exactly the most politically stable period, almost entirely coalition governments. In that 10-year space, India did, including the passing of the SEBI Act, 10 major amendments to the laws relating to securities markets. It created a brand new exchange. It created something unknown in India till then, which is depositories. And a lot of the kids here will not know this. Pre-1996, you remember that example of Swaraj Paul
Yes.
trying to buy up shares in Escorts and DCM. And one reason why it couldn't be carried out is there were 67 trucks parked outside Escorts for physically changing the ownership in the share certificates. And it would have taken you some X 100 days to actually physically carry out the share transfer in each sort of piece of paper. And today, 99.9% of India, in terms of equity structure, is dematerialized, electronic, and it can happen before you can say hello. So we have a terrific record, and to get the depositories legislation through, again something which people will not know, did you know that we required a constitutional amendment? And we got this done in 96, 97, and it's a government that you won't even remember.
Yes.
And Mr. Deve Gowda piloted and got 30 Indian legislatures to pass a supporting amendment to enable the Depositories Act. So I think we constantly surprise ourselves. So institutional story is clearly work in progress, but I think we have some spectacular successes and we just need to build on them.